but I'm going to travel somewhere along there. Now this root sphere, I'm going to go ahead and set this back to wherever his hips are going to sit, because this first sphere is special. All right, now let's draw out a second sphere. I'm just going to bring this all the way up, and I don't want to change my brush size, so I'd rather just drag it back out. The idea here is speed. You want to be able to bust out this as quickly as possible, and Z-spheres are great for that. You know, a lot of times, I mean, I've been at fault for doing this too. I'll just try and rip everything out of a sphere, you know, and I end up wasting so much time. So I know I want this lift. I know eventually I'm going to put a coil in here, a tail, so even in a neutral state, it's going to be coiled up. I have one sphere here to represent the arch in the back. Let's go ahead and drop in a sphere for the shoulder assembly, and this would be the pelvic assembly. So from here, let's go ahead and draw out where we're going to attach our limbs. And I think for this guy, I think where I'm going to break with nature, and salamanders are very close to the ground, I'm going to raise him up from the ground and make him feel a little bit more dinosaur-like, and give him some longer front limbs that he can actually stand on. And why am I doing it? Because I'm feeling it. My gut is telling me that's the direction I should go. And you got to trust your gut sometimes. Your gut probably, well, I wouldn't say probably. In some situations, your gut makes better decisions than your normal consciousness that you're aware of. All right, let's bring that limb all the way down. And I'm going to say he's not a speedy fellow. He's easy to catch. That's why he's a Nubladon. So let's put the hind legs close to the ground. I can imagine him walking around in a low-level area, almost looking a little bit comical, like he's scooting his butt on the ground. But we'll see. That might change. We'll see how I'm feeling after I get a basic silhouette blocked out. Let's bring those underneath him. Maybe those limbs are a bit too long. And maybe he's a bit too high. So let's go ahead and bring this whole thing up. Let's rotate that down and see how that's feeling. All right, and let's drop in the joints, front arms. Let's set my plane back a little bit further than where it's at right now because I'm eating up that space quickly. All right, and right now he's pretty simple. And that's where I do want to start. I typically start with something very simple and then elaborate from there and then build in that complexity. So right now I'm starting with a very simple structure. I'm going to go ahead and hit the A key to give myself an adaptive skin. Go down to adaptive skin, drop that density to 1, click on make adaptive skin, and let's drop in actually something we can sculpt with. So there we go. Switch over to that. And now I'm going to have some fun. Dynamesh. Let's go. 32 and Dynamesh. Let's go ahead and turn off, or actually delete, the Z-sphere. I don't really have a use for it anymore. And then I like to start in with the inflate brush just to give myself some volume to work with. Now, it doesn't start looking pretty yet, and it won't start looking pretty until I get a little bit deeper into the sculpt. So let's pull this out. I'm going to give him a bit of a gut. Let's have all the space to eat in here. He's not going to be incredibly muscular. After all, he's a salamander, or salamander eel. I'm going to start with something a little bit human at the top here. If you're looking at these volumes, I don't know if you can read this, but I'm looking tricep, deltoid, bicep, brachioradialis. Let's employ the clay buildup. Drop in something like lats. And then there's something that I like to pull from horse anatomy, and it's actually, you find it in a lot of creatures. And actually, let me pull up this for you guys. So let's go horse muscles. For some reason, every time I put in anatomy with anything, I inevitably get a horrible search results. So let's pull this guy up and let's take a look at what we're going to incorporate here. So we have our lats here, and then we have this external intercostal muscle, which are these muscles right here. These can be compared to the serratus in a human, right? And then they have all these external obliques down here. Now, my guy isn't terribly muscular, but I like to start there so that I have it as a landmark, something to pull from, something to help me build out my character. So I'm going to crudely block that in. And I'm really more interested in the idea than accurate placement at this point. I'll play with placement later on. Let's go ahead and get the obliques. I might have to up my resolution to do this. Let's see if I can get away with it. I'm always trying to squeeze as much as possible out of every subdivision. I hate having to subdivide up. Why do I hate having to subdivide up? Because every time I subdivide up, it slows me down just a little bit. There we go. Not feeling the silhouette yet. Feels to be wider here. Should probably bring up the volume in the legs first and the tail. And I definitely want to have that long, flat tail. Let's remesh. Any questions, you guys? Any thoughts, ideas that you guys are thinking? Are you guys sculpting? What's going on? Where are you at? Have I thoroughly put you to sleep? All right. Awesome. Let's bring that tail out. I'm going to bring this down. Doesn't matter that I'm flattening out this mesh. And I don't think I want that curl up. Let me step back, and I'm just going to have this lay flat for now. See what kind of line I can build here to start with. All right, and one of the things I do like about the Chinese salamander that I don't want to lose is the Chinese salamander sort of has a no-neck Joe complex, right? So this guy does not have much of a neck, and I like that. I like the head just leading straight into the body. That's part of what makes him feel very primitive and eel-like, and It may be just a little bit prehistoric, right? It's not like a lizard. So just building up on silhouette, let's go ahead and just use a snake hook to pull this out and around. Let's bring his chest out. Right now, he has no lungs because he barely has a rib cage. Here we go. Holding down Alt on the move brush, one of my favorite things to do, moving things around their face normal and average axis rather than just moving them according to your camera perspective. It's close, but I think the shoulders need to come up a little bit. I don't know if these long limbs are breaking too much with my original idea of what I wanted for this, or if it's competing with the squat nature of the salamander. I am absolutely thinking silhouette. This is silhouette time. Like I'm placing anatomy, right? I'm placing loose anatomy, right? Just to give myself an idea of where this is supposed to go and to help me form the silhouette. But I'm absolutely thinking, like, what is this arched back saying? What is this silhouette saying? Is he, I mean, I don't want him to look speedy. I want him to look easy to kill. I want him to look like he's unintimidating, which is what you want a low-level character to look like. You don't want someone who's first started playing a video game to go out and look like they're just going to get slaughtered and there's nothing they can beat. You want to go have a little bit of confidence and go beat those, you know, those walking shrubs to get to level 5. So I want him to not look too intimidating, and I'm definitely focusing on silhouette. Manuel's question, I'm sorry, I keep on forgetting to read the questions out loud, was you're already considering silhouette here in terms of future unique design choices. You also think in terms of contrast, curves versus straights, etc. Exactly, form and function, and what does the silhouette and design tell you? Right, exactly. Manuel, I should have you on a mic with me, because that's exactly where it's at. You're telling a story. And right now I'm still building a little bit of structure. I haven't started storytelling yet, but we will get there.